Peace. Hi. It's Gord. Are you high? Hi. I'm high. Actually, I'm not. I've had the one toke, two tokes that I had on my previous video with y'all. Here, let me get the microphone a little better. Uh, I've had the couple of tokes I had on that video I did with y'all, my wake and bake. But then the Marijuana Times shared an article with me, and it's funny. Cheers first. Cheers. I was just sitting here thinking about the endocannabinoid system. Thinking about, see, Elle Burns made a statement about she was quite happy with my channel because she's learning so much about this plant. And I started thinking more about the plant. And then this article came up. The endocannabinoid system, a history of endocannabinoids and cannabis. And at first I just shared it with y'all, as I do with anything that comes that I think is important. I give it a quick scan, share it. I'm a speed reader. But in that quick scan, definitely I saw, this is something that is at a level that everyone can understand. I want to share this. See, I shared on Weedy Weekend something that had a little bit to do with this, but I didn't even read it to y'all because it's really in depth about CB1 and CB2 receptors and how they have a small little notch in them that receives the THC. It's very, very technical. Usually a lot of people, even if they can read that stuff, don't want to. It's boring. They'd rather hear from me or have a few levels up to read. So that's why I thought, after reading this, after sharing it and reading it more in depthly, I thought I need to share this with you all and get you all to read it more in depthly. I'm not going to read it to you. But if I only shared it on Weedy Weekend, I'm only going to quote a little piece of it and move on. If I do a whole piece on it, we go a little further. So I do encourage you to look below. I will put this article, this website, below, and I hope that you'll go along with me or read it yourself. Really, I encourage you all to learn more about the science behind this plant, because we are the ambassadors of this plant. Us medical people who have a legal voice are, even us with our legal voice, are often put down and shunned because of the stigma. So those with the illegal voice have an even more difficult time getting the story out. So it's us with the legal voice that need to really push it. This kind of knowledge is the kind of base knowledge that I wish we all had. And it is the kind of knowledge that I think 60 years from now, every child growing up will understand the endocannabinoid system and how it affects us and how this wonder drug found its way back into our society. We're going to look back at the 80 years of bullshit that we've gone through in trying to get this back to legalized as the stupidest time on earth. But anyways, especially since the prohibition of marijuana started almost immediately after the prohibition of alcohol stopped. They knew prohibition didn't work, but they had a prohibition department. You gotta prohibit something. Can't fire those people, can you? Oh. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. Have you ever wondered why marijuana affects us the way it does? What is it that makes THC and CBD react with our bodies, healing and offering relief to the ill? What makes this plant such a diverse medicine? able to treat such a large number of and vastly different conditions? This is a really good question. A lot of people do not, and I did not up until a year ago, understand the endocannabinoid system. And we as a society still don't fully understand that. This story really goes in depth as to how it was discovered. Cannabis was a medicine long before we knew we had an endocannabinoid system. It was a medicine long before Prohibition. And if you asked 50 years ago, nobody knew what an endocannabinoid system was. In the 1900s, all they knew was cannabis worked for a variety of situations. They didn't know that there was THC or CBD. That's why I say this is the time to discover this plant, because we can find so much more. Truth is, it's only been the last couple of decades that scientists have even begun to understand the way cannabis works with our bodies. It goes on to tell you the history, and I like this history. I'm not going to read the history part, but it goes on to tell about how, starting in the 50s, and how slowly they first discovered the CB1 receptors in our, just a minute, CB1 is the brain, I believe, and CB2 is the body. But it doesn't matter. They found a CB receptor, a cannabinoid receptor, and how that slowly worked out into finding the different compounds in the plant and how they work together, and how they then found THC, and then they found other receptors, and how it slowly built into, this system which mimics cannabis regulates the homeostasis of our body. And they named it after the plant because that's how they found the system was originally by the plant. So pretty interesting to read all of that. It's a really long article. It is a good article. But I had a place here that I had. Okay. It's interesting to see how far we've come. 50 years ago, THC had just been identified. Now, thanks to the discovery of that one cannabinoid, we've discovered an entire molecular system within our bodies that we didn't know about. Thanks to the plant, we discovered the control system of our body, the endocannabinoid system. It creates homeostasis in our body. It monitors. It's what's responsible for sending around not just the endocannabinoids, but other things such as our white blood cells and everything to repair and fix and modify our bodies. This is an important part to read. It is so hard to think that supplementing unbalanced, naturally occurring endocannabinoids with cannabinoids from cannabis is able to manage, relieve, or control a condition and even cure cancer, that it might be possible to use the same process to prevent such conditions in the first place. And this is, now I'm quoting Dustin Saluk Do from a blog post of Normal. I now believe the answer is yes. Research has shown that small doses of cannabinoids from cannabis can signal the body to make more endocannabinoids and build more cannabinoid receptors. This is why many first-time cannabis users don't feel an effect. This is interesting. I learned this new today. I'm going to repeat this. This is why first-time cannabis users don't feel an effect. But by their second or third time using the herb, they have built more cannabinoid receptors and they're ready to respond. More receptors increases a person's sensitivity to cannabinoids. Smaller doses have larger effects, and the individual has an enhanced baseline of endocannabinoid activity. I believe that small regular doses of cannabis might act as a tonic to our most physiological, to our most central physiological healing system. This is exactly what I predicted, is that doctors are coming forward and starting to say that this shouldn't just be something that, like, I use for an ailment. I feel pain, I smoke or take a pill or put something on. But a tonic for the prevention of many, if not all, of the problems that face our bodies right now. Heal before you're broken. Prevention. So this is why I really love this article. Marijuana Times came out with a great article. It is really long. It is well worth the read. I'm looking for who, by Julia Granowitz. I'll even see if she's in Google so that I can thank her for a great article. I hope I get more like this. I really do encourage you to check it out, because the more you learn, the more you can help yourself and your own body and those around you learn more and get this plant to those who need it the most. Let's first heal those that are sick, but then, as this doctor said, let's start thinking of it as a tonic for our future to prevent the illnesses that our children are bound to get without it. Peace and cheers, love and harmony. Keep learning. Share it with me. I'll share it with you.